Okay, Lamar Jackson. Is this the year he's going to get over the hump? That's what these guys are talking about on First Things First. And let's hear what they got to say, and then I'll give my comments on it.
Is this the year Lamar gets over the hump? I don't know if I love that quote, to be honest with you. I kind of liked it, but then another lens.
I like it. Nick, I hate to tell you, this is the year he gets over the hump.
Okay.
Not only does he play well in the playoffs, he leads the Ravens to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Victory. Not just appearance, victory.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson has been so good this year that it's hard for me to see him, and he has. We've fought over it and argued. He's struggled in the playoffs. He was great against Houston, I thought.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he struggled. Although it was years ago, but still. And he's been so good. He's also got Derrick Henry, who obviously is going to help, And he's got better receivers. Even Zay Flowers might be out, but now
but
you
Zay
got
Flowers should be back. You would hope for
going
the
forward.
tough playoff
Yes,
games against Buffalo and then maybe against Kansas City.
Absolutely. So I do think he overcomes it, and he overcame Pittsburgh. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. You did, and he admitted, I got a monkey off my back, and he played great. That's the first time in his, 6 games against the Steelers that he had a passer rating over, 80.
Yeah, it was his first even good game against Pittsburgh, and it was a great game.
Right.
So
I do, let me, your quote.
Please.
The quote, I know that you think that means he's nervous.
Well, it's not what I think he told me.
Well, I looked up antsy, nervous. I went to Oxford Languages and looked up nervous, and they had 23 synonyms, and antsy was not one of them.
What were the synonyms when you looked up antsy? Because I bet
antsy
nervous
had
is one of them.
nervous wasn't one.
Okay.
Fidgety, jumpy,
Yeah.
restless.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Even if you are right, though, I'll play along.
Yeah.
Let's say it's nervous.
Well, yeah.
The great ones have to get over that.
Yes.
And I think he's a great one.
I do too.
And I remember another great one who used to get fidgety and nervous and had some meltdowns in the biggest games. And in his first trip to the NBA Finals, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, shot 35%. His next, a couple years later, big playoff game against Boston's Big Three. A meltdown that was inexplainable to people. Then he gets to the finals and in Miami and plays against Dallas. I thought they definitely should have won that series, and he melted down. And I'm, of course, talking about the great LeBron James, but he had to do some soul searching, and he got over it. So the notion that, you're a created killer, you can't.
I really hate, I'm starting to hate the cliche of when you bring in basketball comparisons to football, vice versa. It's just they're apples and oranges. They're two different things. Okay. We've seen this before with Lamar, and it's not like, so they're the 3 seed, and now they have to play Pittsburgh, which they split this year, but in recent history, according to my phone, Pittsburgh swept them last year. They split the year before. Pittsburgh swept. So it's not like they have a lot of success against Pittsburgh in the first place. Pittsburgh plays them well. They got to get by Pittsburgh first. And I know Pittsburgh's on a 4-game losing streak, and they're struggling, and they look bad. It's the playoffs. It's still a division matchup. It's against a team you play twice every year and you know really well, and you beat once this year. Yes, Baltimore, in the game Baltimore won, looked like a much better team. But still, I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for Baltimore. I don't think it's going to be. I think Baltimore will probably win, but I mean, don't be surprised if Pittsburgh pulls this one out. Pittsburgh plays Baltimore tough. Pittsburgh has had Baltimore's number in this decade. And it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Pittsburgh's played well. Russell Wilson is the quarterback. He has, he's got some experience in the playoffs. He's no stranger to it. He knows a thing or two, and let's just not dismiss Pittsburgh. So is this the year Lamar finally gets over the hump? Well, it would be an impressive hump if he gets over it, because if you look at his path, they're going to have to defeat Pittsburgh first. Then they're most likely going to have to go to Buffalo and beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Now, I know Baltimore beat Buffalo earlier this year. Playing in Baltimore and playing in Buffalo are two separate beasts. Buffalo is undefeated at home. Buffalo will be healthier, I should say. They won't have guys missing on offense. Knock on wood. So then they'd have to go to Arrowhead and beat Kansas City. That's that's Baltimore's path just to get to the Super Bowl and then have to beat whomever they play in the Super Bowl for Lamar to get over the hump. So, is this the year Lamar gets over the hump? He had a better chance at it last year. When you're at home, teams are going to Baltimore. They had home field advantage, and they didn't do it then. I really don't see Lamar going through Pittsburgh and then at Buffalo, at Kansas City, and then winning the Super Bowl. I don't see it happening. I think if it didn't happen before for Lamar, it's not going to happen this year. I don't think this is the year it's going to happen. I really think if it ends up being Baltimore at Buffalo, Buffalo wins. I think Buffalo gets the rematch. I don't think it's their year. It's just too tough of a path for Baltimore. That's a lot to ask for Baltimore to go through Pittsburgh and then to Buffalo and then to Arrowhead and then probably against Detroit to win the Super Bowl. That's too much. I don't think this is Lamar Jackson's year. He had a hell of a year. He has a good shot at the MVP again. Although I think it's going to go to Allen because a lot of people are going to use the Derrick Henry excuse for Lamar Jackson. I don't see it happening. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? And I don't think it's in the cards for Baltimore this year. Still a hell of a team. Still a hell of a year. And it could happen. I'm not saying there's no realm of possibility that it's not going to happen. Because it could very well. And it would be a very impressive path. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.